just with a few subtle tweaks to make it perform better on the road trail. Welcome back folks, I'm Lloyd Purvis and this is Run4Adventure. Today we are back with another exciting shoe review, and today we're actually looking at a trail version of a road shoe that we've just reviewed on the channel and that we really liked. So yep, today we are looking at the Nike Pegasus Trail 2. I know it must seem like we have turned into a Nike channel here at Run4Adventure. We've been reviewing a lot of their new products of late, but that is definitely not the case. Just so happens a lot of them new items dropped in the UK at the same time, so we will be reviewing some shoes from some other brands very soon. The Pegasus Trail 2 has had lots of exciting new updates and it kind of stands alone now within the Nike Trail range, whereas its predecessor, the Pegasus 36 Trail, was very similar to the road version, but it just had a few subtle tweaks to make it perform better on the trails. So now the Pegasus Trail 2 is very different from the road Pegasus 37. It stands alone as its own model with the sole purpose of trail running, which I think is a big step in the right direction for this shoe. So let's give you a few facts and figures and go through the big changes when it comes to this new trail shoe from Nike. The Pegasus Trail 2 retails in the UK at £115. Weight-wise, the men's shoe comes in at 333 grams, the women's at 270 grams. Heel offset is 10mm, so we've got 31mm on the heel and 21mm on the forefoot. The shoe is available in two colourways for men and for women, and when it comes to the fit of the shoe, I would say the shoe is true to size and offers a good level of width in the toe box. So let's go through some of the big changes when it comes to the Pegasus Trail 2, and probably the biggest change is the shoe now carries a full Nike React cushioned midsole to offer you a cushioned but responsive ride, but also to give you a good level of stability in rocky terrain, and we'll come back to that a bit later. The shoe also carries a perforated but durable mesh upper to increase airflow and to help with drainage to keep you cool and dry while running out on the trails. It's also got a perforated gusseted tongue to help with drainage, but that tongue's there also to give you that midfoot cage so you get that specific hold and lockdown around the midfoot while you're out on technical trails. The shoe's got a very soft heel collar, very similar to the Wild Horse that we reviewed earlier in the year. That's there for comfort around the heel, but it's also there to try and keep out dirt and debris. The Pegasus Trail 2 also comes with this handy pull tab on the heel. I'm a little bit disappointed with Nike. I much preferred the name when it was on the Wild Horse of Utility Tab, but it's just a pull tab this time. And when it comes to the outsole, we've got this shockwave pattern on the rubber to give you a nice smooth transition between road and trail. And then we've got a bit of extra grip on the toe and on the heel to give you a bit more traction when running up and downhill. So that is a few facts and figures about this new trail running shoe from Nike, and a bit of an insight into the changes they've made when it comes to the Pegasus Trail 2. But let's go through the things that we've really enjoyed about running in this shoe, and maybe a few of the things that we don't fully understand about this new trail shoe. Yep, I said trail shoe, so that's a trail shoe for trail running from Nike. The first thing we need to talk about when it comes to likes is how comfortable this shoe is. So first run I did in it was about 7.5 miles, second run 17.5 miles, and third run 22 miles out on Dartmoor in some pretty challenging conditions and technical trails, and I have had no issues whatsoever. No chafing, rubbing, no hot spots, definitely no blisters, no black toenails. This shoe has been a very comfortable place to be, and to be honest, you know, I'm quite surprised at that. If I normally go and take a new shoe for 20 odd miles on the trail, I might have the odd bit of irritation or hot spot, but nothing in this shoe. So I can definitely vouch this is one comfortable shoe straight out the box. I'm also a big fan that Nike have put a full React midsole on the Pegasus Trail 2. By now, I'm sure you all know I am a big fan of the React cushioning, especially on a road shoe. So this Pegasus Trail 2, running on compact, dry, firm trails or crossing over from them trails to road, very smooth in transition. This shoe performs very well in that tarmac environment, that's for sure. Very comfortable on the road. Having that slightly wider heel counter and that slightly wider profile on that midsole definitely helps with a bit of stability in the heel compared to, say, the Wild Horse, another trail shoe in Nike's range that carries a full React midsole. So an improvement in stability on technical trails. However, when it comes to that full React midsole, there is a but, and quite a big but we'll come to that later. The Pegasus Trail 2 also carries a feature I tend to look for in my trail shoes, and we've got this nice rubber bumper or toe protector in that shoe. It's something I look for because there's been a couple of times while out on the trails where I've kicked something on the trail and been in a bit of discomfort. The one that springs to mind, racing the classic Q1 year when the coast paths were pretty overgrown and you couldn't really see the path under you. There was a stone in the middle of the path. I kicked it full pelt in a pair of Hoka Speed Goats. I was left with a very black toenail, a very sore foot for the rest of the race, and I actually lost that big toenail. It took forever to grow back. So having a nice bit of rubber toe protection on a trail shoe is always a good feature. The first thing we definitely need to speak about when it comes to things that haven't quite worked out for us when it comes to the Pegasus Trail 2 is the fit of the shoe, or that specific lockdown, or should I say lack of lockdown, because I really struggled to get this shoe dialed into my foot shape. I don't know whether that's because of the depth or the width of the midfoot just doesn't work for my foot shape, but I found it very hard to lock this shoe down. Even with that gusseted tongue, which is a feature in a shoe that I always look for because it normally gives you that hold, I couldn't achieve it in this shoe. It didn't matter how many times I laced that shoe down or how tight I pulled them laces down, I really struggled. I don't think the heel counter helps either. Having this sort of soft gaiter, it was quite gaping at the heel. I couldn't really get that lockdown or hold around the heel collar either. On the long run I did in the shoe, 22 miles on Dartmoor in Devon, a very challenging place to run. Lots of technical trail, lots of tussocky grass to run over. It didn't matter how many times that I stopped and adjusted the laces, pulled the laces down tighter. On them technical challenging areas, I had lots of lateral movement. Running down steep descents, I was sliding all over the place in the shoe to the point where my toe was hitting the end of the toe box. So a feature personally for me that is super important in our trail shoes, that specific lockdown and hold. Unfortunately, I felt it was lacking in the Pegasus Trail 2. I was saying earlier in the review that it's a great thing that Nike have transitioned over to this full React midsole in the new Pegasus Trail 2. I'm a big fan of that cushioning compound. I think it's the perfect balance between comfort and responsiveness. However, I'm not convinced it works in a trail shoe. The reason I say that is because I find it's not the most stable of compounds when it comes to running on technical trail. The stack height is quite high in the new Pegasus Trail 2, and this version of the React compound in the shoe is very soft and very squishy. Yep, technical term, squishy. When you pair them two things together, you're left with a shoe where you lose quite a lot of ground connection and ground feel, but also it creates quite an unstable midsole laterally. You then throw in that lack of hold around the midfoot of the upper, and you're left with a trail shoe that really does struggle running in an uneven technical trail environment. We also need to mention the weight of this shoe. So this shoe, I'm a UK 9.5, in a 9.5 it's 333 grams. I could almost have a bicep workout with this shoe. I don't know whether it's because of COVID over lockdown, the shoe couldn't get any exercise, but it's definitely put on weight. Compared to the previous version, the Pegasus 36 Trail, this is about 70 grams heavier. So it's a bit of a beast now when it comes to a trail shoe. We've also just quickly got to mention the rubber used on the outsole. On our long run across Dartmoor, we had to do a few stream crossings and we were skipping from dry and wet rock. I wasn't fully convinced by the level of traction this outsole gave me. There was a few times where I had a bit of slippage on some of them rock surfaces, but that is how we have felt putting 50 miles into this shoe. By now, you know at Run4Adventure, we like to score our shoes when we do a review. So let's get some scores on the new Nike Trail Pegasus 2. The first thing always to score at Run4Adventure is price. The Pegasus Trail retails at £115 in the UK, which I personally think in today's market is a pretty fair price for the shoe. It looks really well put together and it's a solid shoe. It's going to give you lots and lots of comfortable trail mileage. So for price, it comes in with a very respectable 8 out of 10. The next thing we're going to score is comfort and performance, and the first thing I need to say is this is a really comfortable shoe. Any new shoe, you take out the box and you do long runs in and you have no hot spots, irritation, blisters or anything like that. It's always a good thing. So it is a very comfortable environment to be in when you're out running. Unfortunately, when we talk about the performance side, it's a giveaway in the name of the shoe. It's called Pegasus Trail 2 and it's part of Nike's trail running range. Trail shoes have to perform in technical environments, especially for me because that's where I spend most of my trail time. And unfortunately, this shoe really did struggle when it came to technical trail running. So again, if it had performed better, it would have scored a lot higher, but it's going to come in with a just above average 6 out of 10. Number 3 on the list when it comes to scoring is durability, and this looks like a really well put together solid shoe. And at 330 grams, it should be pretty well put together. I know lots of guys who've run in previous versions and they got lots and lots of miles out of their Pegasus Trail shoes. So we're going to have to score it high on durability. The shoe is showing no signs of wear and it's been on a couple of challenging runs, that's for sure. So when it comes to durability, we're going to give it another strong 8 out of 10. Last but not least to be scored, we're going to talk about looks, and like I always say, it's subjective and you should never pick a shoe on the way it looks. But I actually like the way this shoe looks. I think the design is really cool. I think the colorways used are really smart. Although I must say, using light colors on a trail shoe that's going to be run in the UK, it does get quite grubby pretty quick, and we definitely ran it in some pretty boggy wet conditions. But overall, I really like the design. I like the colorway. I'm sure we're going to see lots of exciting colorways from Nike. So it's going to score a really colorful 8 out of 10. Rounding all them points up at Run4Adventure for the Nike Pegasus Trail 2, it comes in with a pretty unstable on technical trail 30 out of 40. What I will say is if it just performed a little bit better in them technical environments and it was a little bit lighter, the shoe would have obviously scored a lot higher. But anyway, let's wrap this review up with a quick conclusion. If you're the type of trail runner that spends all their time running super technical trail, whether it be coast path, moorland, in the fells, you're also always on that super technical stuff, then maybe the Pegasus Trail 2 isn't the shoe for you or that environment. I think there's shoes out there in the marketplace that would offer you a much better hold or lockdown around the midfoot, but also a better level of ground feel, better level of stability and a better level of grip. But if you're a runner and you go out on the trails and the trails you run are firmer, drier, less technical, or you have to do a lot of road to get to the trails or a lot of road in between, or a shoe you're going to commute in and do a bit of trail and a bit of road running, then the Pegasus Trail 2 does do that really well. It's very comfortable in that road environment. I could happily bob along on the road, nice, slow, steady pace for as many miles as I wanted in this shoe. It's a very comfortable place to be in that environment. So if you are that type of runner, the Pegasus Trail 2 is definitely worth checking out. So that is another review crushed at Run4Adventure. Really hope you enjoyed it, guys, and found it useful. We have left a link in the description for the Pegasus Trail 2. If you want to find out any more information on the shoe or Nike as a running brand, please click that link. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed it, guys, give us a big thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And why not, if you've enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button. Come and join the Run4Adventure family and follow us on our YouTube journey. Also, guys, comments. We want to hear, are you running in the Pegasus Trail 2? Did you find it a bit heavy and a bit unstable in technical environments? Or do you totally disagree and find it a great all-round trail shoe? Get them comments down below. Also, if you haven't checked it out already, go and have a look at run4adventure.uk. Have a look at the awesome merchandise we've got available for you guys at home. But thanks for watching. Your support of the channel is awesome. We'll see you in the next video. And as always, stay safe and keep on running. Oh, don't forget, hit that bell icon because you'll be notified when we upload any new content.